don't ever feel that there are things that you can't achieve. Anything you put your mind to, you can do. Because some of these organizations can, some of the silly stuff they spew is that, these unions are like anti-employer, they want to take control of the organization, they're communists, they want to just change, they just want to change everything.
They want to come and change their business, turn it upside down.
And I get that. And that's not the case, or they'll be like, okay, we know best as employers, and because we know best as employers, we will basically provide you with benefits that we think is good. So for instance, they could say to you that, okay, do you know what, if you want to do a course, we'll pay for you to do the course. If you want a bonus, this is well, not if you want a bonus, this is how much bonus we will give you because this is what we think we should give you. But if there was a trade union there, the trade union would be like, okay, we appreciate you want to give us this, but let's negotiate for you to give us more.
Yeah, so and they're pushing for the benefit
of their members.
They make them so much money.
Yeah. So I would encourage people that work for other people to join trade unions. They can go on the TUC website, Trade Union Congress website, to see.
My staff will never watch this episode. My staff will never watch this episode. No, boy, you better.
But some people, because it almost looks like it's insurance.
Yes,
that's what it is.
It's kind of. It sounds
you've hit the nail on the head, because when I'm trying to recruit members in my workplace, that's what I say. It is like insurance. Now, the way I try to use the analogy is like a car. Now, by law, you have to get insurance and stuff like that, and that's the law. So it's a bit different, but it's a bit similar. So now, if you take a car, you're the person that's working. Your career is kind of the car. The road is like your workplace. So you're driving your career through the workplace and things like this. Now, if you have an accident, you hit someone bashes you and stuff like that. If you don't have insurance, so if we go back to the car, if you don't have insurance, you're gonna have to fix that situation out of your own pocket.
That's right.
You're not going to be able
and you're going to get in trouble for not having that insurance.
You're not going to be able to go into your insurance and get assistance, get help.
That's right.
So in the workplace, if you run into problems with your employer or a colleague at work and stuff like that, where HR get involved and then they want to bring a case against you for misconduct and stuff like that, if you are not in a trade union, you're by yourself.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to try and deal with that situation by yourself. Now, the thing is, the organization is a big organization.
They're clued up.
It's got its HR department and stuff like that.
So ready to do everything they need to do. That's right.
They're gonna. There's more an advantage on their side to deal with you, and you're not going to really be able to defend yourself if you don't know that much about employment law.
You would have to go and start studying and researching.
Or hire a lawyer to hire someone, which now might cost you a lot more.
Crazy. Rather than paying your insurance.
So having that trade union membership, you know that you can go to your trade union to ask for assistance. Now, what happens is with trade unions, or where there's recognition agreement, but also where there's no recognition agreement. So an organization doesn't necessarily have to have a recognition agreement with a trade union for you to join a trade union. You can still join a trade union if you work in a profession.
Regardless, they won't sack you because you join trade union.
That's trade union detriment, and you could take your employer to employment tribunal.
So if you join trade union and they sack you based on the fact you join trade union,
that's
it's on top. It's on top.
So what are you saying? They can't join. You don't want them to have. You don't want to give them knowledge, huh? You want to keep them there. You don't want your staff to have knowledge. You don't want to empower your staff.
You don't want your staff to watch this episode.
Now my staff can join. When they will join, I'll call me.
When you tell them pay £30 a month, they'll say I'm not paying. It's okay. It's okay.
That you're asking for 50p. You want to know about pay 30p. You don't need 50p anymore.
The thing is, the trade union doesn't only just offer assistance on employment matters in the workplace. There could be other benefits that you could get discount on, like car insurance, discount on holidays,
incentives to be with
so
them.
You can get financial advice for like personal injury claims for like your family members and stuff like that.
Because they've got all that in-house, innit? So they've got people that okay.
So there's other benefits from being a member of a trade union other than them just supporting you in the workplace.
So you've been with a trade union for what? Like,
no, so to go back to the story about me getting serious in the trade union,
the progress,
the process.
Pivot
based looking back. So let's say we're in 2014. We're in 2014 now. So I'm looking back at when I started working. So I started working like from 2000 to 24. That's 14 years. I'm starting to notice that managers are not treating me well when they're kind of taking the mick and not giving me a pay rise compared to my other colleagues, and then I'm looking at it like, oh, is this a race thing? Like, what's going on? And then you're frustrated and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, do you know what? Has my organization got a trade union? So then I saw that yes, the organization has got a trade union recognition agreement. So I thought, okay, do you know what? Let me join the trade union. So I joined the trade union, and then like they would send information about like what the trade union does and are you interested in going to conferences and things like that, and that's the sort of negotiations they're doing with like terms and conditions and things like that. And then I started to read a lot more about like what the trade union was doing in my workplace, and I was like, actually, I think I can do this stuff. So let me see if I can become trained to be a trade union rep. And what a trade union rep is basically a trade union representative in the workplace. So for instance, because my employer had a recognition agreement with joint trade unions, that means if there's a recognition agreement in place with the employer, it means that an employee can become a trade union representative of that trade union in the workplace. So as well as doing
representing them,
so as well as doing your day job, you can also represent members of your trade union in your workplace and still be paid. Like you don't have to take separate time or anything like that.
Okay,
you're still paid. Although you can have something which is called a facility agreement. And what a facility agreement is that the trade union will negotiate with the employer that, okay, do you know, because this person is a trade union rep, this is how much of their time this is how much of their facility time that they will use for their trade union duties. And then this is the time that they will use to do their
actual job. So you must have a job to be part of a trade union.
Yes.
You can't be unemployed.
No, to start with, you need to have a job to be a member of the trade union. However, if you do lose your job, you can still be a member until you find until you find another job. Until you find another job.
But you can't start unemployed.
No, you can't start. You can't.
Listen, if you don't get a job, don't even bother.
Yep.
Go and get a job. From getting a job, join your trade union. From there, work your way up, because you understand they're basically representing people at work.
Right.
People that want to know about how to be treated fairly at work.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot of sense.
But then the thing is, not all industries have trade unions, so that's why I was talking about the TUC website where people can go on. They can put the sort of industry in which they work in, and then it will show the Trade Union Congress website. I'll have to spell it out after.
And put it in.
Yep, so you go on that website, you put your industry. So if you say, like, I work in retail, I work in banking, I work in the NHS, it will basically pull up a list of all the different trade unions you can join, and then you can go on their individual, it gives you the link to their individual websites, and you can click on it and read up about it and say, like, okay, do you know what? Is this the trade union for me? Or you can speak to colleagues in your workplace and be like, okay, do you know what? Or you can even speak to the HR department in your workplace and be like, okay, do you know, do we have a recognition agreement? Who is a recognition agreement with? And then they can tell you, and then you can.
So what did it take to become a rep?
Okay, so to become a rep, I just saw that they were advertising for people to become stewards and stuff like that, and I thought, okay, do you know what? This seems interesting.
I can do this.
Yeah, this seems interesting. This is something that I can do. So let me go for the training. So they sent me on various courses. This can be like a day course or 3-day course. And then they basically teach you about what a trade union is, how to represent people, how to handle various cases like discrimination cases, like race discrimination cases, disability discrimination cases, how to handle sickness cases, formal cases. It teaches you how to represent members in your workplace.
So stop a minute. Did that aid your emotional intelligence? Going back to that little point, because
yes, it did. And I think for me, something that is good for emotional intelligence is the experiences one has with the most amount of diverse people, if that makes sense. So as I said, like I've been working since 2000. Yeah. We're in 2022 now. So that's like 22 years. I've worked in so many different places.
Met loads of people.
I've met loads of different people from all over the world, because we live in the UK, so there's people that come from all over the
London as well.
All over the world that you work with, you talk with, you learn about their culture, their background, and stuff like that. There's certain projects that you have to do together. So you really get to know people. And I'm somebody that I'm extremely inquisitive. I like to mix with diverse people and stuff like that. And the more people you mix with, and the more diverse the people are that you mix with, for me, it gave me a better understanding of people.
Basically, people that work with you, they respect you.
Yes, the thing is, yes, I would say they do, and there is a saying like, would you prefer to be feared or prefer to be respected?
Can you answer that question?
For me, it's about being respected as opposed to being feared. Yeah.
You rather the respect.
Yes.
Based on your give back.
Yeah. The thing is for me, it's like, if somebody fears you, they're not necessarily going to fear you forever. And if a lot of people that fear you decide to come together against you, then they will become brave, and you'll get defeated. So fear doesn't make sense. But then the thing is, if people respect you, they know that when they're coming to you, they have to come to you at a certain level. At a certain level. And because they have that respect for you, they will know how to come to you at that level. You might not be able to agree on everything, but that respect is there. And for me, respect is better than fear.
100%. Because for me, is like we just mentioned earlier on, it's absolutely correct. I'll tell you why again, right? I use a term, and I say it with confidently. I do not fear God, right? Maybe we use the term fear in a very a nuanced idea of what English has kind of birthed into. The terminology and the real word we're supposed to have been using for God is reverence, right? Give respect and adoration, right? I had this term I used to call my mom. She's my God on earth. That was my mother, right? So I can't fear my mom. She's got nothing but absolute love for me. If I need help and support, I go there. If I needed it, so it's like, why fear God? Yeah, we know that a mom can slap me at any point, at any age. It can inflict pain and harm and hurt, but I want to serve her in such a way where she doesn't need to, right? Because of respect.
Yeah.
So if we have respect, like back to what we're saying to you now, it's like, you're a rep. You're for the people that you are representing, they shouldn't fear you first. They should want to come to you because they know you're going to help them. You're going to make their life easier. And the people that you're against or fighting against for your employee, they shouldn't necessarily fear you. They should respect you.
So is there a balance?
The thing is, some people could say that there's a fine line between.
Is there a balance? Because some people would say on the outside world, they'll be like, I can't be respected because I need to cause some kind of chaos for me to get that respect. So they need to fear me, but then not that they only just fear me, they respect me as well, because otherwise, where's the authority? So it's, do you get what I mean?
The thing is, it's I would say on the fear and respect thing, it's relative to the individual. Because for me, like the way I've been raised is, if you're gonna fear anything, the only thing you fear is God. Now I take what you said, but for me, and I tell this to people, I don't fear human beings, because we're flesh and blood. We live, we're all gonna die one day. Right. So fearing another human being just doesn't make any sense to me. But I'm from a religious background where I believe in God, and for me, I would say I fear God. I respect God, but I fear I fear
what could happen.
I fear God because the thing is, knowing how
you don't really fear God, you fear the consequences against. So if you don't, out of respect, if you do the right things according to your religion, you wouldn't need to fear the consequences, because there will be none.
Do good, but we should be conscious enough to know good. You know,
it just becomes a normal way of living.
Good should be a norm, but I feel like society makes you understand that doing too much good will leave you empty. Because everyone's going to be like, oh, that's the good guy, that's the good guy, that's the good. Let's take today. So there's always a point where it's like, look, I'm good, but you can't take that much. Because me, myself, I need something for myself. So it's crazy, bruv, like, because the world, I think now more than ever, we're in a take world. A lot of people do not want to go through that. Like, you've gone through a whole process. Like, so you're not sitting here off the back of, oh, let me go on Google. But then you'd have someone that sat on Google over and over again, read things, and then come in and be like, yeah, but arguing. And then you'll be like, but what are you saying? I've gone to do this. I've sat down, I've taken out the time, I've learnt the right way. I've learnt the way that they've written it in the particular university based on that. You've learned it from various universities. So you're coming off a point that's not that tangible. His point makes sense in terms of in the workplace, because I see you as, if I see you as, oh boy, that's my rep, you know. So that guy's going to be able to help me out in my time of need. Now I respect my man. I can't fear my man. Because if I fear my man, I'll never approach him. I'll never approach him. So I get, on that point, I get why you would say, I can't fear God. Because if I fear God, I wouldn't approach him. Because in the back of my mind, I know I've done something. So I'm more going to God with love, knowing I'm a sinner. We got to go back. We said, do you think we could have a Asian Prime Minister? We said the UK is not ready for it.
That's right.
The UK's got one.
Imagine.
So we're sitting here.
But we said at the right time.
We did say at the right time.
Because the time it was between him and the woman.
Liz, he lost.
And although there's a technicality there, though.
Of course
because the people didn't vote for our current Prime Minister.
And I don't think
they will. It was the party that decided.
They had no choice.
But I don't necessarily.
When they had a choice, they picked the woman. And we said it like, that's what we're saying. We're saying the UK is not ready to go and say, look, we select for an Asian Prime Minister.
I wouldn't necessarily agree.
Brexit will show you.
No. I wouldn't necessarily. I wouldn't necessarily agree. Now, I can appreciate that there are various issues in this country and across the world in terms of racism and all of those sorts of things, but to read the mind of the electorate, so these are people that vote, to say whether they're ready or not, I don't know whether we can really do that, because if you look at Brexit, there are a lot of people that thought that Brexit wouldn't happen. There are some people that thought, do you know what? Yeah, Brexit is going to happen. But there was a lot of people that thought, no, Brexit
wouldn't vote out.
Why would people do this?
Why would we leave?
That was a London mentality that thought.
When you go to the countryside, they don't know nothing.
Their community was impacted, right? Yeah, they were impacted by their neighbours not being the people that they know anymore. So those are the people that really voted. London probably voted to remain.
But where I'm going with everything I'm saying is that look at Barack Obama. But to us in the UK, Barack Obama came out of nowhere. Now, back in the day, like when Tupac and all these people were rapping and stuff like that, they were saying that we're never gonna see a black president, and we got one.
That was 20 years after that track was made.
But still, it happened. Like I'm sure, growing up, did you think that you would see a black president of the United States?
It was more believable to happen in the States than it would here. Reason why? Because black people have had a firm hand in the creation of America longer than black people have had a creation of the United Kingdom, right? There's 4 or 5 generations of children.
African American.
In America, African American. So my mom was born here. My grandma was born here. My great grandma was born here. My great great grandma was a slave, right? Maybe, right? But here it's like, where's your parents from? Most of the time, Windrush brought a lot of people in the, was it 60s?
Yeah,
right?
but the thing is, I hear
So
you.
we're still-
But I hear you on that.
we're
But the
one
thing is,
generation, because the black people don't even say that I'm British. They're born here.
Yeah.
Some of them, their mums are born here, but they're still saying Nigeria.
Yeah.
They're still saying
It's
West
maybe over
Indies.
the last 30 years to
Right.
40, maybe the last 50 years, more impact has had from us.
okay,
coming
do you know
in.
what the thing
So
is?
I
The thing
think
is,
we've got a long way to go before we can.
they were like, although we're using it in this context in terms of like black. For me, I don't really like
Yeah,
to use
same
color to
here.
refer to people.
Yeah.
Like I consider myself to be an African, and
That's
people
right.
that are black.
I appreciate that.
We're all
Africans, yeah.
We're all African. Now the thing is, they were, and I'm using black in the context of this
Oh,
discussion.
yeah.
There were black people in the United States and in the Caribbean before
before
the
that's right.
transatlantic slave trade,
That's
just
right.
like how there were black people in the UK before the transatlantic slave trade.
trade, yeah.
The oldest human remains that they found in the UK, they call Cheddar Man.
Yeah,
When they did the DNA analysis, the man had brown skin like
That's
us,
right.
blue eyes and stuff like that,
Yeah.
and it wasn't what you would consider to be the modern day
the average,
European.
inhabitant.
When the Romans came and colonized,
conquered and all that stuff,
they had
Black
emperors.
emperors and stuff like that, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even in Europe,
Yeah.
they had it.
Yep.
Yeah, do you understand? So with the whole Windrush and all of that sort of stuff, yes, a lot of people came over. They helped rebuild the UK and stuff like that. But we shouldn't lose sight of people that came before. Before
Before the issues where
Yeah.
it becomes so.
Yeah.
It's like we don't speak
Yeah.
about before the issues
Yeah. Like what
because the
happened
issues were
before.
so long.
Yeah, for 500 years or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I hear what you're saying, right? Okay. And I get it completely,
Yeah.
right? But now that's prior to the system that was created by the Europeans. So what we're talking about is prior to this new system
Yeah.
that we're all engaging in, capitalism, the different sets of parties that are representing individuals, then European ideology and philosophy and stuff. So it's like now as Nigerians, we speak in English, right? It's not that the English people are speaking Yoruba. So it's like
But that's because we were colonized by the.
that's
by
right,
the
we're
British.
conforming to their system. So this is a new system that they've created that they've fought for over the years, right? There was many wars happening in Europe before they took the wars global, right? So while we were saying that it's not possible, and things are changing, culture
It
is
changed.
changing.
We said it one
Right.
week, and maybe a month later, it was Prime
He was
Minister.
the Prime Minister, but then
By
would he be elected?
Okay,
you think? You think he would be elected?
Okay, what will determine whether the people of the UK are actually going to be ready to vote for somebody that is not from a European background?
if you
Is
can
when
put money-
is when a general election when a general election happens, seeing how people vote. Now the thing is, for a general election, you're not voting. The way the UK is, you're not voting for who's going to be Prime Minister. You're voting for your MP. Do you understand? And it's the MPs, it's the political party with the most MPs that can form a government. But
that's
if you happen to be the leader of your party, then that is how you will become Prime
That's
Minister.
how you vote.
So what's next for you? What's your next plan?
The thing is,
Was it MP, the first
What you saying,
black,
MP?
black
I-
Prime Minister?
I would-
I'm saying on camera
Okay,
now.
Yep.
I'm whatever party of a man that I've known him for a long time.
That's right.
And I can tell you he's not a shady fella. So if he stands up tomorrow and says, I want to be MP, I will follow him based on a man I know
I
his
appreciate
character.
That's right.
I know him as, this guy's not coming here to fumble us. He's coming here to make
make the
changes
right change.
because the changes is at his hands to make now. So he's been at it for years. Now it's at his hands. He's not someone that's gonna mess it up.
Yeah.
So please do not be
Yeah.
afraid.
No.
I'll push your agenda. We'll walk around this Hackney. We'll walk around this whole Hackney. Plus all the man them. They'll bruise everybody, bruv.
Did she grow up in Hackney?
I'm not.
She's not from North London.
No. Diane Abbott, I'm not sure whether she grew up in Hackney, but she's been an MP for 30
In Hackney,
years.
so
Yeah.
she's
She's been there for a long time, but she is not the MP for my constituency.
Okay.
She's the MP for Hackney North.
Hackney North and Stoke Newington.
And Stoke Newington, yeah, because that's
where she's.
So Hackney North, where is Hackney North?
Stokey.
There and Upper
N16,
Clapton. Upper Clapton as well.
So basically,
because some people don't know that there's a Hackney North and there's a Hackney South.
So from Dalston upwards, so in Hackney North, you've got like Clissold Ward, you've got Stamford Hill, you've got Stoke Newington, you've got Springfield.
Yeah, which is Clapton.
Yeah,
that's Upper Clapton. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you've got all of those places that.
What about the roundabout? Is that where it starts to?
Yeah, Clapton. So you've got Hackney Downs as well. Is like north, and then in south you've got.
What about Lee Bridge? That area there, Lee Bridge Road
starts to push towards Wolfham.
Lee Bridge is
still Hackney,
North. Yeah,
it's Hackney North as well.
And then south is at Vicky Park.
Vicky Park,
Hackney Wick, Haggerston, Shoreditch. Yes. Yeah.
Hackney Road.
Yeah.
Bethnal Green.
No. Bethnal Green is Tower Hamlets.
Tower Hamlets now.
Yeah.
It crosses over from that point.
Yeah.
So Mare Street, Bethnal Green.
Wells Street, Hackney
Wells
Wick.
Street is still Hackney South.
South. Wells Street is south, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fields is south.
Yeah.
You got Haggerston is south.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's crazy. I never knew that, I never knew that it was divided.
Like that.
Yeah, but this is the thing, like you won't know unless like you choose to pay an interest in it, or you know somebody that is in it and has an interest in it and stuff like that.
Nah, when we just come in Hackney, we just think we're in Hackney.
Yeah,
we don't know that one turn we've left Hackney South and we're in Hackney North. Just from one turn, bruv, where you? Up now when someone calls me, where you? I'm in Hackney North, bro.
That's right.
Oh, where? What do you mean Hackney North? Now I'm gonna give you information.
That's right.
It seems like you don't know, my bro.
My party has embraced me. I've had positive experiences in the politics and within the Labour Party, being a black man. Now, not everything is perfect. Not every political party is perfect. But for me, if you want to kind of change the world, be the change you want to see.
That's right.
Do you understand? And plug yourself in. And for me, I'm willing to plug myself in, because I'm not doing this for me. I could
bigger than you.
I could choose. I could say, do you know what? I just want to work. I want to work. I want to be with my family. I don't want to take.
You found your purpose.
Yeah, I don't want to take up any stress or anything like that. But there are a lot of people out there that need people to speak up for them, need people to help them, and for me, it's disheartening knowing that there's people out there that have got nobody to speak up for them. And for me, anything I can do in my capacity to speak up for people, I'll continue to do that and fight for their cause.
Yeah, so please tell the camera your full name, your ward, your constituency, what you stand for, and then we have two things we do: life advice, business advice. It's a businessman, but I would like to say life advice and political advice. A political advice would be based on those who sit back and know that politics is happening, but they need a bit of guidance or direction in terms of how to get up and go and do something that will be now effective towards the community. One vote can change a lot of things, and that's, I think, from what I've heard today, I won't lie, like, not more time voting comes through my box, it comes through in it, like, but if you lot keep on voting what you're voting in it, I gotta get up and go to work, do this and do that. I get it. Sometimes I make it to vote, but if I don't, I'm not mad. So please give us like your full name, your details where they can catch you, and then we would like you to give us one life advice, and one political advice. Okay.
So my name is Councillor Joseph Ogundemoren, and I'm responsible for the Hackney Wick ward with the Labour Party. In terms of life advice, the life advice I would give to everybody is that, life is extremely short and precious, and you should do everything in your power to enjoy life and the experience of life. Don't ever feel that there are things that you can't achieve. Anything you put your mind to, you can do. Be inquisitive about life and learning about different experiences.
What's the political advice for the kid that's maybe 16?
Vote.
Kid that's 16, 18, like just sitting back like, mate, I won't lie. I don't look at it, as I said, it's been played as a sport that maybe it's a facade where they don't want us to get involved because it's strength by numbers. So maybe there's always been a ploy of
keep them not engaged.
if you keep them, if they know, then
Problems.
there's going to be loads
gonna
of
come and
changes.
disrupt
And
this.
my thing is, I'm for change. Like my platform, like Wes probably understands my platform because he knows that everything I do is to teach and show that, look, we can be whoever we want to be. And it's
get
not by
things
what
done.
you see that lets you know what's in someone's mind. And we can do a lot and get things done and want to share. So like, give us a political advice that is going to empower the people. Not black, not white, not Asian, not empower people in general, because anybody from the walk of life in the UK can watch this and be like, you know what, I never knew that, you know? And I'm going to now make advances to do that or take steps towards knowing more.
Yeah. So I guess in terms of political advice, what I would say is that understand that your vote counts and reflect on why. Reflect on the fact that you know your vote counts, but then thinking, why should I give my vote to this person or to this political party? And do they represent me? Do I believe in what they represent and what they stand for? Is what I would encourage people to do. Understand the political system in the country in which you live, understand the political parties that are in the country that you live or that are responsible for the ward in which you live. Understand who your councillor is. Understand who your MPs are, because your vote does count.
Thank you very much. Lovely to have you down. And remember,
No
we
problem, my
owe
brother.
you another interview
Part
when
two.
we start.
We'll
When we start,
definitely
because
do a part
you know when
two.
you say something, it's gonna manifest.
100%.
It's gonna become something.
Based on what I heard today, from our councilman over there, if you haven't joined a rep at work, join a trade union at work. Join a trade union, and you might be a little bit of money come out your pocket, but see it as something that may benefit you in your time of need. So I advise you guys join a trade union if you haven't joined one today. Yeah, all right.
And join a political party.
Yeah,
Preferably the Labour Party.
That's right.
Yeah, I've learned a lot. You know, I read a lot about like I look at myself like, you know what, I should be Labour Party.
Yeah.
I should be. But then I go to work sometimes and I think to myself, I'm my Labour Party. But when I sit in, I think to myself, you know what, I am, because it's more time. I'm not up there with the Amazons and the Starbucks and them.
on the ground.
I'm the one that
On
if
the
you
ground.
every time you make that decision, I feel it like that crisis that they're saying is crisising to me as well.